Buddhism, founded in the late 6th century BCE by Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, is an important religion in most of the countries of Asia. Buddhism was founded in the northeastern region of India in what is now Nepal. Buddhism has assumed many different forms, but in each case there has been an attempt to draw from the life experiences of the Buddha, his teachings, and the spirit or essence of his teachings, called Dhamma or Dharma, as models for the religious life. Buddhism was founded on the teachings and life experiences of Siddhartha Gautam, who was born in 563 BCE. Buddha Siddhartha Gautama is also called Sakyamuni or Tathagata. He was born in Lumbini, which is located in present-day Nepal, into the royal dynasty of the Sakya clan, which ruled from Kapil vastu on the Indo-Nepal border in Lumbini. According to legend, at his birth a soothsayer predicted that he might become a renouncer, withdrawing from the temporal life. To prevent this, his father provided him with many luxuries and pleasures. But, as a young man, he once went on a series of 4 chariot rides where he first saw the more severe forms of human suffering: old age, illness, and death, a corpse, as well as an ascetic renouncer. The contrast between his life and this human suffering made him realize that all the pleasures on earth were in fact transitory, and could only mask human suffering. He left his home wife Yashodhara and new son Rahula at the age of 29. He took on several teachers and tried severe renunciation in the forest until the point of near starvation. Finally, realizing that this too was only adding more suffering, he ate food and sat down beneath a tree to meditate. By morning, or some say 6 months later, he had attained nirvana, enlightenment, which provided both the true answers to the causes of suffering and permanent release from it. Now the Buddha, the enlightened or awakened one, began to teach others these truths out of compassion for their suffering. The most important doctrines he taught included the 4 Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. His first noble truth is that life is suffering, dukkha. Life as we normally live it is full of the pleasures and pains of the body and mind. Pleasures, he said, do not represent lasting happiness. They are inevitably tied in with suffering, since we suffer from wanting them to continue, and wanting pain to go so pleasure can come. The second noble truth is that suffering is caused by craving, for sense pleasures and for things to be as they are not. We refuse to accept life as it is. The third noble truth, however, states that suffering has an end, and the fourth offers the means to that end: the Eightfold Path and the Middle Way. If one follows this combined path, he or she will attain nirvana, an indescribable state of all-knowing lucid awareness in which there is only peace and joy. The Eightfold Path, often pictorially represented by an 8-spoked wheel, the Wheel of Dhamma, includes right views, the 4 Noble Truths, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood/occupation, right endeavor, right mindfulness, total concentration in activity, and right concentration, meditation. The Eightfold Path is pervaded by the principle of the middle way, which characterizes the Buddha's life. The middle way represents a rejection of all extremes of thought, emotion, action, and lifestyle. Rather than either severe mortification of the body or a life of indulgence in sense pleasures, the Buddha advocated a moderate or balanced, wandering lifestyle and the cultivation of mental and emotional equanimity through meditation and morality. In 483 BCE, he died at the age of 80 in Kushinagar, a town in Uttar Pradesh. The incident is called Mahaparinirvan. By the 3rd century BCE, however, the picture we have of Buddhism is very different. The Mauryan Indian Emperor Ashoka the Great, 304 to 232 BCE, who ruled from 268 to 232 BCE, turned Buddhism into the state religion of India. He provided a favorable social and political climate for the acceptance of Buddhist ideas, encouraged Buddhist missionary activity, and even generated among Buddhist monks certain expectations of patronage and influence on the machinery of political decision-making. Between the death of the Buddha and the time of Ashoka, archaeological evidence for Buddhism is scarce. After the time Ashoka, it is abundant. As Buddhism grew and expanded, many monastic schools emerged among Buddha's followers. This is partly because his practical teachings were indecisive on several points. For example, he refused to give a definitive answer about whether humans have a soul or not. Another reason for the emergence of different schools was that he did not appoint a successor to follow him as leader of the Sangha, monastic order. He told the monks to be lamps unto themselves and make the Dhamma their guide. About the 1st century CE, a major split occurred within the Buddhist fold, that between the Mahayana and Hinayana, Nikaya, branches. Of the Hinayana, the lesser vehicle branch of schools, only the Theravada school, founded 4th century BCE, remains. It is currently found in Sri Lanka and all Southeast Asian countries. This school stresses the historical figure of Gautama Buddha, and the centrality of the monk's lifestyle and practice, meditation. The Theravada monks hold that the Buddha taught a doctrine of anatta, no soul, when he spoke of the impermanence of the human body/form, perception, sensation/feelings, consciousness, and volition. They believe, however, that human beings continue to be reformed and reborn, and to collect karma until they reach nirvana. The Theravada school has compiled a sacred canon of early Buddhist teachings and regulations that is called the Tripitaka. The Mahayana, greater vehicle branch of schools, began about the 1st century CE. Mahayanists are found today especially in Korea, China, Japan, and Tibet. The 3 most prominent schools are Pure Land, Choner Zen, and Tantra. Mahayana schools in general utilize texts called sutras, stressing that lay people can also be good Buddhists, and that there are other effective paths to nirvana in addition to meditation. For instance, the chanting and good works utilized in Pure Land. They believe that the Buddha and all human beings have their origin in what is variously called Buddha nature, Buddha mind, or emptiness. This is not nothing, but is the completely indescribable source of all existence. It is at the same time enlightenment potential. The form of the historical Buddha was, they say, only one manifestation of Buddha nature. Mahayana thus speaks of many past and also future Buddhas, some of whom are godlike, and preside over Buddha worlds or heavenly paradises. Especially important are bodhisattvas, who are persons who have reached the point of enlightenment, but turn back and take a vow to use their enlightenment compassion, wisdom, and power to help release others from their suffering. Mahayana canon says that finally there is no distinction between self and other, nor between samsara, transmigration, rebirth, and nirvana. Because of this, the bodhisattva is capable of taking on the suffering of others in samsara and of transferring his own merit to them.
Buddhists believe that there were in the past, there are currently, and there will be in the future many Buddhas on earth. To be a Buddha is to be one who has awakened to a realistic view of the world and one's position in it. Buddhists also believe that other planets and other places of existence will have their own people, and those people will have their own Buddhas, as the truth of Buddhism is universal. A Buddha is one who realizes that nothing, including the soul, has an unchanging essence. According to Buddhism, there were many Buddhas before Gautama Buddha, and there were and will be many Buddhas after him. In early Pali texts, Gautama was listed as being the 7th Buddha of antiquity. According to Buddhist scriptures, Maitreya is believed to be the last Buddha of this eon and the successor of Gautama. Maitreya will appear on earth, achieve complete enlightenment, and teach the pure Dharma. The prophecy of the arrival of Maitreya is found in the canonical literature of all Buddhist sects, Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. The exact number of Buddhas that have or will appear is debated. In the Theravada tradition, the names of 21 Buddhas are added to the initial list of 7 Buddhas. In the Mahayana Buddhist tradition, even more names of Buddhas are added, and some claim that there has been, is, and or will be an infinite number of Buddhas.